Hello, princesses, and welcome back to Not Fit for Print Beauty with me, Rebecca. Happy New Year. Wishing you all only the best in the year 2023. Thank you so much for being here with me and helping Not Fit for Print Beauty grow. I'm so grateful to you all. And the reason I look like I can barely contain my excitement is that that's true. This has been so much fun. We have finally, all of the answers to our community Best of Beauty 2022 awards. I will list below all of the questions that I put out to answer in case you missed it. So there were about 21 questions, actually not about, there were 21 questions covering everything from eyeshadow palettes and neutral and colorful to the brands of makeup brushes we use, lip glosses and mascara and all sorts of questions. And I have all of the answers tallied. We had hundreds upon hundreds of answers, and it was really fun to tally. It's a lot of work at first because you're starting to write down all of the responses, but it starts getting easier as more and more answers come in because you just start putting tally marks. And I did check this more than once. Some of these I'm going to declare almost two winners because if someone won with just one vote more, that is awfully close. But in every category, we do have a winner, and it's really interesting. I want you to keep something in mind. Last year, our overall winner across all categories, the person who got the most awards, the brand, I should say, that got the most awards was Charlotte Tilbury in a landslide. It's different this year. So let's dive in, and then at the end, I'll let you know who got the most, okay? First question, if you're following along at home, was the brand you felt the most excited about this year? Now, boy, did I have a lot of brands. Some brands only got one mention. Chantecaille only got one vote there. Nope, people weren't that excited about Chantecaille or NARS. NARS only got one vote. But, you know, we had like Mob Beauty and Sigma listed and Rowan, really exciting brands. But those weren't our winners. Charlotte Tilbury got a lot, Chanel got a lot, Tom Ford got a lot. Not the winner, though. We had two winners, actually. Natasha Denona took second place. Interestingly enough, Natasha Denona had a lot of excitement around her this year, apparently, according to you guys. Natasha Denona was almost our winner. She is not the winner. One more vote. I counted more than once to make sure. One more vote for the top. Brand you felt most excited about this year, you guys felt the most excited about Lisa Eldridge. Interesting. Lisa Eldridge didn't win as much as I thought she would last year, mainly because still an independent brand. But this year, you guys, that won. One more vote than Natasha Denona for the brand you were most excited about. I got my Dr. Pepper Zero here, so I'll be taking a few slugs so that I don't start coughing here. Our question number 2, if you're following along at home, was the neutral eyeshadow palette that you were the most drawn to this year. Lisa Eldridge's Vega palette got a lot of votes, not the winner. Mario's Ethereal palette, a lot of votes, not the winner. But the hands down winner, Natasha Denona overall. You guys wanted to wear the My Dream as a neutral. You wanted to wear her Glam as a neutral. You were still wearing her Biba as a neutral. Overall, no competition. Natasha Denona was the brand you turned to this past year for neutral eyeshadow palettes. That was our winner. Question number 3 talked about colorful eyeshadow palettes. This was a really fun one. Natasha Denona got a lot. Not the winner. Lisa Eldridge's Sorcery palette got a lot. And the Pat McGrath palettes all along the line got a lot. Guess who was the winner? This is so exciting. I'm going to have to send them a note to tell them also. You know the winner? This is really cool. Of the colorful eyeshadow palette that you guys were the most drawn to this year, Odin's Eye. Yeah, Odin's Eye, an indie brand. Hey, what do you think of that? You guys voted Odin's Eye, their Christmas palette, the most exciting colorful eyeshadow palette that you turned to and were most interested in this year. And the reason I have a big smile on my face is that's a really fun result for me. Because last year, when Charlotte Tilbury took so many categories, I worried that she won simply because it's a bigger brand with more money put into it, more advertising dollars. But Odin's Eye, we're getting some really good answers, that means, and some really real answers. So I'm really thrilled to hear that. Stupidest Release this year. This is my favorite one. My favorite question. So runner-up in second place, a distant second, but I had to mention it because it was the runner-up, was the Jones Road What the Foundation. I agree, that was totally stupid. We had a lot of other fun Winky Lux people didn't like. I haven't announced the winner yet, though. But I think you guessed what the winner was. This got 3 times the votes of any. Oh, She-Hulk was on there, the lid gloss from Chanel. Lots of kind of, oh, that blush circle from Bridgerton, somebody said. Only one person said this. I thought it was brilliant. That horrible cardboard blush circle thing from Bridgerton. No, but the winner with 3 times more votes than anybody else was the Fenty Makeup or Ketchup. Was that what it was called? Makeup or Ketchup? That Fenty ketchup thing, you guys said was the stupidest release of the year. And I saw it mentioned time after time. I'd actually forgotten about it, conveniently. But that definitely won for number 4. Number 5, most expensive, but worth it brand this year. We almost had a tie. Second place by 1 vote was Chantecaille for most expensive but worth it, which is really interesting because last year people were angry at them. Chantecaille last year got a lot of people saying most expensive and not worth it. Along with Hourglass got slammed. Hourglass is almost missing from this survey this year, interestingly enough. But guess who was the most expensive but totally worth it brand this year, you guys said? Pat McGrath Labs. Now, I'm wondering if most of you answered those questions before all these insane sales that she's been having, including 40% off. Perhaps not the most expensive brand after all, but you guys answered. Most expensive brand but worth your money was Pat McGrath. Most expensive brand but not worth your money? Second place, Chantecaille. They didn't win this year. First place, are you ready? I love this. Pat McGrath. Pat McGrath won most expensive and worth it, and most expensive and not worth it. She actually won in both categories. That makes me laugh. Interesting, huh? All right, moving along. Number 7 was the most expensive single purchase that you made this year. And we had a lot of that. We had a lot of people said, didn't win, but a lot of people said that Chanel color corrector, that thing was like $90. I walked into my Chanel boutique to purchase it for review, and I thought I would just pick up 2 shades and show you guys. And I remember my sales associate was like, I think just 1 is fine because it's not, I didn't realize it was 90. Woo! So that almost won. But the most expensive single purchase of the year, you guys said, were your Pat McGrath Labs mothership purchases. Again, this seems a little funny because and almost insulting, because when you look at the fact that the brand has had so many darn sales, it seems almost a slap in the face. But you guys answered time and time and time again, more than any other answer, that your purchase of her mothership palettes was your most expensive of the year. Including you guys, people that answered Dyson, people that answered YSL, people that answered Westman Atelier, more than ever, landslide, you guys three mothership palettes. Number 8, your favorite matte lipstick of the year and brand only, I thought would be Charlotte Tilbury, but she was a distant second. Last year, Charlotte Tilbury matte lipsticks won, but she was a distant second. Favorite matte lipstick this year and brand only, Lisa Eldridge took that one as well. Boy, she didn't really win a bunch of them last year. So the difference in Lisa Eldridge's brand from last year to this year, really interesting. Favorite mascara this year and brand only was, of course, Lancome. That was tilted in their favor because Lancome, releases so many. But you guys also answered drugstore for this. The second place was Maybelline. Also a brand that releases a lot of lipsticks. A lot of mascaras, excuse me. And Benefit came in third place. You guys are still enjoying Benefit mascara, another brand that releases a lot of mascara. So maybe that stacks the deck in favor of them. I have to rethink that question maybe next year. But still, good answer. Bronzer that you've used the most this year. Hourglass kind of came in third here. I think this is the best one that Hourglass was kind of absent on this, but they got third in this. I don't know. It's almost a tie for number 1. Chanel, I thought was going to win, but there's another brand that got 2 more votes than they did. So Chanel almost took it, but at the end, another one crept in. You guys really like Charlotte Tilbury bronzers, and interestingly enough, that was our winner for the bronzer you've used the most. Charlotte really took this category more in her powder bronzer than her cream bronzer. That's the bronzer you guys are still really enjoying, is the Charlotte Tilbury, more than Gucci. Gucci got a lot of votes, but it wasn't even third or fourth, really, it looks like. I'm looking at my tallies here. And I think last year Gucci really took it. So this year you guys have forgotten about Gucci, but you haven't forgotten about Charlotte, especially the powder version, which wasn't even released this year. The favorite makeup brush brand. This is a really, really fun one. We actually had a tie, and one is natural and one is synthetic. So we're going to go with best natural and best synthetic. For natural, the runner-up was Rephr. You guys love Rephr, but the winner for our natural hair brushes was Sonia G. Deservedly so. And guess who our winner was for synthetic hair brushes? BK Beauty by a landslide. By a landslide. And you guys like a lot of synthetic hair brushes. A lot of these were named and got close, but let me tell you, BK Beauty won in a landslide. Lovely people, lovely products. Same with Sonia, same with Rephr. So I think really good ones won in that category. Favorite indie brand this year. This was really fun. Lisa Eldridge was a close second. One vote away from, guess who won? Oh, I love it. Lethal. Lethal Cosmetics won for your favorite. This is really fun. Your favorite independent brand. I couldn't agree more. Lovely people, innovative, fun products. We had some really great, Sydney Grace almost won here. Tower 28 got a lot of votes. That was a really, really, really fun category, but Lethal took it. I think that's amazing. The best powder this year. You guys are using a second place a lot. Second place was only second place by one vote. This one I counted 3 times to make sure that you like the Givenchy powder. That was number 2. Number 1 powder, actually Charlotte did win this one too. By one vote, Charlotte Tilbury's pressed airbrush flawless finish powder is your number 1 choice for powder. And I think that won last year too. That's a good powder, so why not, you know? Number 14, we're moving through here. A new brand that you're glad you tried for the first time this year. And please remember that this question was a new brand to you. It didn't have to be new this year. Oh, you know what? I was wrong. That is finally when the Hourglass won. A lot of people decided to try Hourglass for the first time this year. But second and third place close were Lethal, Pat McGrath, and Victoria Beckham Beauty. But your number 1 choice, that is one that Hourglass won. I thought they're still not very represented here. This was a fun one. Number 15 asked what beauty retailer. This is a hard question to ask. Look, Sephora won. I'm not going to lie. But sometimes I think Sephora wins because they have all the cards in their pocket. You know, I mean, I spend the most money every year at Sephora, and I don't even know if that's by choice. They just have everything. It's convenient. They're doing away with their 2-day flash shipping, which for me ends pretty soon. So I don't know if I'll start shopping other places. I don't know if they're replacing that. Are they replacing that with anything? I'm not sure. That I've tried for Sephora that same-day delivery, and they've canceled it twice on me. So I don't really trust it. But the really fun one, second place, by like only 1 point. So I almost feel like this is the real winner, is Nordstrom. How cool is that? Little Nordstrom, didn't even get a mention last year. You guys loved shopping for beauty at Nordstrom. So I think that's really cool. It only lost to the giant Sephora by 1 vote. That's pretty darn cool. Number 16, the blush you have loved the most. Well, you guys second place really loved Gucci. That kept scoring high, but it didn't win. But you really loved Gucci. But I'll tell you, your second and first place winners are really fun. Second place is RMS. RMS Beauty is absolutely gorgeous blushes. And they released, I can't stop using their blushes. They're almost like highlightery and blushy. So RMS was your number 2, but number 1 was Pat McGrath. You guys really like Pat McGrath blushes. That is another category she has taken this year. You really loved Pat McGrath. Highlighter that you love the most this year, brand only. Lots of votes for Hourglass and Charlotte Tilbury, but our beyond above board winner was Chanel. Interestingly enough, highlighter you guys loved the most in 2022 was Chanel. I think that might be the only category they actually completely won in. One and Done eyeshadow was number 18. We're almost at the end here. The One and Done eyeshadow, you guys, this didn't win, but you guys really love the Victoria Beckham Beauty Lid Luster in mink. You named some of the other shades, but predominantly you guys like the mink shade. That really almost won, but it was passed this might be cheating. I didn't mean to cheat. A lot of people said Charlotte Tilbury, those pop shots, and a lot of people said Charlotte Tilbury Eyes to Mesmerize. And when I combine them, it made for Charlotte Tilbury winning the one and done eyeshadow selection. I get maybe individually Victoria Beckham Beauty's Mink Shade won. But when I put Charlotte together, she won. So I don't know, do that as you will, but those were the dominating one and done eyeshadows. 19, this is a fun one. The most hyped release in your opinion. Wait till I tell you what won. You guys have the best memories. I'm guilty of, having the memory of a goldfish. So I'm guilty of answering a lot of things with what I remember from the past 3 months or so, But you guys have bigger memories. A lot of you said the Lisa Eldridge release, that didn't win, but I was in my head too, especially the eyeshadow release. It was just everywhere. At Anastasia Beverly Hills, Nouveau, a lot of you said the NARS Foundation and House Labs Foundation. But do you know what won? And when I think back on it, you guys are so right. The Chanel Tweed eyeshadow palettes. Remember those? You couldn't look at a creator without them having some sort of thing with the little tweed casing and the music and the thing. That, you guys are right, and you have really, really good memories. That Chanel Tweed release was huge and almost too much. It kind of turned me off. It was so big. So Chanel won that one too, and I'm not sure they'd be so proud of that. Maybe they would, actually. Still money in their pocket. 20 is the best lip gloss, hands down. Hands down. We had a lot of good winners. Fenty is still popular, didn't win. Chanel is really popular. Victoria Beckham Beauty, Hermes got a lot of votes. The number one, hands down. I mean, at least double the amount of votes than others is Pat McGrath Labs. Pat McGrath makes a great lip gloss. It is true, and you guys absolutely know that. Number 21, the product that you want backups of. This was kind of a mess of a question. Because my fault. I don't know if I worded it right, so some of you gave me an actual product, like Scott Barnes mascara, but others of you gave me a type of product, like an SPF, or lip gloss in general. So this question was kind of all over the place. But what won, whether it was mentioned generally or specifically, was mascara. You guys buy a lot of backups of mascara. So if you like a mascara and it goes on sale, or even if it doesn't go on sale, you guys are buying 2 or 3 of them at a time in order to have them on hand. That was kind of the product mentioned the most. All right, to wrap this all up, who was our number one brand mentioned across every category this year? Who got kind of the most votes over all 21 questions? Last year, it was Charlotte Tilbury who was queen. This year, you probably guessed because you heard the name so much, it was Pat McGrath Labs. Pat McGrath won at least double the amount of awards and mentions than any other brand. So for those of us that are speculating, why all the sales? Is she not doing well? It doesn't appear to be so. Last year, though, Charlotte swept it. And this year, Charlotte won 2 categories, but wasn't mentioned as much. A lot of hype dying down with Charlotte Tilbury. Pat McGrath Labs, that hype is still going strong. She swept the categories more than anyone else. This is an absolute joy to do each year, you guys. I do hope that you had just as much fun with it as I did, and I hope you didn't mind the homework assignment that I gave you. I just enjoyed the heck out of this. Thank you so much for participating and watching, and for your support of my channel all year long. I just adore you guys. Make sure you comment below what surprised you, what shocked you, what do you disagree with. No, the Fenty ketchup for makeup was a stellar release. Maybe you have something to say on that. I don't know. So let me know what you guys think. Or if you've changed your mind now that you're hearing a few, let me know down below. That's what makes us a community, of course. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. I sure hope that you did. If you haven't already done so, make sure that you subscribe to this channel so we can continue our growth into 2023. Come say a big hello over on Instagram and TikTok too. You can support this channel and help keep the lights on by becoming a member for behind the scenes footage or by donating super thanks. And if nothing else, I look forward to seeing all of you lovely people in the year to come and in the next video. Bye-bye.